A young girl named Alice sits by a riverbank on a hot afternoon, peering into a book her sister is reading. It has no pictures, it has no conversations. Boredom takes over, and Alice begins to crave a distraction. A white rabbit runs close by, muttering about being late. He pulls a pocket watch out of his waistcoat, checks the time, and hurries on. Burning with curiosity, Alice leaps down a large rabbit hole. She drops slowly down a seemingly bottomless vertical tunnel lined with cupboards, maps, and bookshelves. She lands unharmed in a long, low hall surrounded by locked doors. Behind a low curtain, she finds a tiny door, about 15 inches high, that opens to reveal a beautiful, lush garden. She holds the solid gold key that unlocks this door. However, the passage is scarcely larger than a rat hole, and Alice is a normal-sized human child. She cannot even fit her head through the frame. Her path forward is blocked by her own physical proportions. To step foot in that garden, Alice must find a way to alter her physical reality. She finds a small bottle labeled "Drink Me." She drains it and shrinks down to a height of just 10 inches. She is now the perfect size for the door, but the golden key remains on top of a glass table, far beyond her reach. This chart tracks the extreme scale shifts Alice endures. Her silhouette drops to a fraction of the door's height before she eats a magical cake and rapidly expands. She shoots up to 9 feet tall until her head strikes the ceiling. Trapped as a giant, she cries a massive pool of tears. Then, a magical fan left by the rabbit causes her to rapidly shrink back down to her miniature size. This creates an immediate hazard. Because she is now only inches tall, the puddle she cried moments earlier has become a massive salty sea, and she is forced to swim for her life. In this micro-world, she meets a sarcastic mouse and a strange collection of birds who have also fallen into the water. Alice attempts to converse, but her standard logic offends them, as Wonderland's creatures operate on entirely different social rules. To dry off, the animals organize a caucus race. They run in a haphazard circle, starting when they like and stopping when they please. When the race ends, the dodo announces that everybody has won, and all must have prizes. Without control over her physical size, Alice remains at the mercy of her environment. A standard room repeatedly transforms into a series of deadly, absurd hazards. The physical traps continue when she enters the White Rabbit's house. After drinking from a bottle, she grows so large she becomes wedged inside the architecture, forced to shove an arm out the window and a foot up the chimney. She kicks a lizard named Bill out of the chimney and eats pebble cakes to shrink, fleeing into the woods. There, she narrowly dodges a giant playful puppy that threatens to trample her. Escaping the puppy, she meets a large blue caterpillar smoking a hookah. He demands to know who she is. Because she has undergone so many transformations in a single day, Alice finds she can no longer explain her own identity. This diagram maps the mushroom's properties. One side increases height, the other decreases it. Alice finally has a tool to adjust her proportions. But her first attempt is unbalanced. Her neck stretches past the treetops like a serpent, triggering a pigeon to attack her. She carefully nibbles alternating pieces of the mushroom until she returns to her normal height. This balance marks a turning point. Alice has gained mechanical control over her own body. Armed with her mushroom pieces, Alice intentionally shrinks herself to 9 inches. She correctly sizes herself to safely enter the wider, social world of the wood. She encounters a duchess in a kitchen choked with pepper and a Cheshire Cat that vanishes into thin air. In these interactions, standard conversational logic is inverted. Questions are met with riddles and hostility. She reaches a tea party hosted by the Hatter and the March Hare. Time has stopped at 6 o'clock, forcing them to rotate seats endlessly while asking riddles that have no answers. Alice finally uses her mushroom and her golden key to reach the garden. But the landscape is a croquet ground where the Queen of Hearts uses live flamingos as mallets and live hedgehogs as balls. The Queen constantly screams for executions. The soldiers, made of playing cards, abandon their posts as arches to arrest people. The game's social order and rules have collapsed into a flurry of random death sentences. Between the non sequiturs of the tea party and the lethal confusion of the garden, Alice's traditional understanding of identity and logic breaks down. By utilizing the mushroom and the golden key, Alice transitions from a passive observer to an active participant, adapting her physical form to meet each new absurdity as it arises.